As I mentioned before, the crank I had changed out, and I replaced it with this one, which works much better. The stock crank comes with a 50, 39, 30. This is a 44, 32, 22, which is way better, especially working with this 1134 9-speed crank cassette in the back. It works very well, and you get a really low gear, so it works very well, and you don't have to burn your legs out, trying to pedal up hills. And I ride a lot in the bigger gear, tall gear. I can cruise pretty good on flats, and then most of the time I don't even use the granny gear unless it's something pretty extreme. So it works really well where I can cruise pretty good, no high speeds, but I can cruise pretty good. And then the middle ring I can use if I'm climbing, pretty moderate hills, and then if need be I can always go down to the granny gear if needed, but I haven't used it yet, so it works really well, and I like it a lot. Next, I've added, you can see here I have the 3 water bottle cages. There's one there, another one there, and then the bottom one there. Going forward a little bit, I added this front rack, which works really well. I like the fact that it has a flat surface. It's an old man mountain, and I can put stuff on top of there and put with, in addition to my panniers that I put on the side, and it works really well. I like to be able to, change positions, not to be, hunched over. I like to sit up sometimes, or sometimes bend over, hunch down to, if I'm trying to get some speed or just to change up. So I added this stem you see here. I bought it from Amazon. I forgot the name of it. Sorry, I can find it and add it later, but I forgot the name of it. But anyway, what it allows me to do is to mount my regular stem onto it, and then if I loosen these bolts up that you see here, it allows the whole handlebar to slide up or down. So if I wanted to adjust it during my ride, to maybe stretch out a little bit more, not to be so cramped, I can do that. So it allows some adjustment, which works really well. As you can see here, sorry, because this spike's kind of high, but I added the Garmin 705 for, keeping track of my metrics and mapping and such. I've added this, which works really well. I can hold my iPod, and with the, not iPod, the iPhone. I hold an iPod too, but iPhone. And the good thing about this one is if you have some earphones on, and especially the iPhone earphones that have the controller on it, you can control your music. If you get a phone call, you can answer it without having to take it out your bag or what have you. You can adjust the volume so you can keep it low so you can hear cars. But yet, if you get a phone call, you can still answer it without having to, take your phone out of your bag or what have you. So it works well for me, and I like it. And again, if you download there's a lot of biking apps. If you don't want to use the Garmin, there's a lot of biking apps that you can use that gives you pretty much the same information as the Garmin. Little Planet bike computer. I like this one because it tells you the temperature, which is pretty neat. It's not just basic, but I like the temperature portion of it. As you can see, I have a lot of hardware, on my handlebars here. So I've added like a little accessory by Topeak, a little accessory arm, if you will, to hold my light if needed, or any other accessory I might need. So, and it works really well for me, and it holds my light here. I forgot the name. I think it's Magic Shine is the light. I'll look it up. But this thing is a retina scorching light. It's 1,000 lumens, and with the battery, I think it lasts 3.5 or 4 hours on 100%. Normally during touring, I'm not going to ride at night, but this thing is really bright. So if you're on a regular, a public bike trail at night, and you have regular people that travel it a lot, regularly travel it, not regular people, it's going to scorch their eyes. So you can turn it down. There's 3 settings. So I would recommend, if you do use it, then I wouldn't use it on high unless you absolutely can't see and it's really dark. But low works well too. I mean, you can see well, but if you have it on high, 1,000 lumens, I mean, they won't see anything, especially if you have it pulsating, because it does that as well, where it strobes. It's kind of like a strobe light. They're going to be blind. So just warning. So as I mentioned before, I'm a research nut, and I read all kinds of things about, try to learn from other people's mistakes, their recommendations. Then I compare. So I did a lot of research on this bag, Ortlieb, or I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Ortlieb bag, and I like them a lot. They have a very good reputation, very tough, and also they're waterproof. So I bought a set. Ouch! I bought a set for the front, and I bought a set for the back. I really like them. They can hold a lot more than I probably should carry. So I have it where I've already tried my bike where I put my tent and stove and clothes and food and everything. It's no problem. They're not even filled. There's plenty more room. So I got to be careful not to overpack, because sometimes you tend to do that, especially when you're new. You kind of overdo it. So I got to make sure I take what I need and not overdo it. So I'm going to put them on the bike just so you can see how they look. And then I'm not going to go into too much detail, but if you have any other questions or you want to see, more functions on them, let me know. But I'm just going to put them on the bike now just so you can see. So you can see here, I put the bags on. So they're called the rear rollers and front rollers for the bike. They were very easy to put the hardware on them, so it only took a few minutes to set them up. Very easy to put on and adjust. Holds the rack holds the backs well, and if you adjust them right, they don't jiggle or vibrate around or anything, and they're solidly held in place. I like the fact that they have the reflectors on the back. Totally waterproof, so if you get caught in some downpour or some kind of issue like that, your stuff will stay dry. Again, working with the seat bag up there, it works pretty good. But although when I have my tent and everything, you won't be able to see that anyway. So, but it still works well. And I like them a lot. Quality's really good. I've only read good things about them. So again, I went ahead and spent the money and ended up getting these. So I like them a lot. Going to the front, the Old Man Mountain Rack again holds these front roller bags really well. And again, looking at the front dash, if you will, you can see the stuff that I have up there in the front, and it works really well. It's not too crowded. I have all the information I need. I don't ride with the light on there. The good thing about this Toe Peak accessory arm is this screw right here on the other side. Excuse me, let me go to the other side real quick. With this screw, you can adjust the screw to the right. You can adjust the angle of the spar, so you can pivot it up, you can pivot in the middle, you can pivot it down, wherever you want. And then, secondly, is with this screw right here, you can see that you can slide this whole bar, right to left. You can angle it, any way you want for your accessory, and it works well. But for me, if I'm not using a light, and I just don't want it there because I don't want it to be too crowded, so the screw that you see here on the left, you just take it out, and this whole, you can kind of see the little line where it snaps together, where it screws together. That whole piece comes off, right? So that's all out of the way, and you can like throw that in your bag or something like that, and only put it on when you need it, right? And then you can leave your light attached to it if you want, and then just put it on if you need it and take it off if you don't. So I use it for the light only because obviously there's no room on anywhere else. But if I need the light, I have a place to use it or to attach it. Then if I don't use it, I'll just throw it in the bag and not even worry about it. I'm going to show you two other bags that I use when I don't use the panniers, because I don't use them all the time. I'm only using them for training. I'll load them down with all kinds of stuff where the bike is very heavy, just to do some hills and to get used to things.